diver's cemetery.
Have you guys ever heard of the Blue Hole? I was scrolling YouTube and saw a dive channel calling it the deadliest place on earth. I still don't even know why. The Blue Hole's reputation didn't come out of nowhere. Divers whisper about it like a curse. Most who underestimate it never make it back.
Sinking uncontrollably 91 meters to the bottom of a blue hole in 3 minutes. This diving instructor found himself in one of the world's most well-known diving accidents, which started as a thrilling dive turned into a horrifying nightmare. A camera mounted on the young diver recorded his final moments.
Dropping 90 meters in 3 minutes is like free-falling past a skyscraper. Except there, the deeper you go, the more the ocean squeezes. Down there, every second feels heavier than the last. Like the water itself is hurting you.
On April 28th, in the year 2000, during a vacation in Dahab, Egypt, the 22-year-old Russian diving instructor Yuri wanted to do a technical dive to the bottom of a deep blue sinkhole. He asked around for an experienced technical diver to accompany him, but they all refused, telling him that it was too dangerous.
He had to know what he was doing, right? Nobody just drops into a place that deadly without serious prep. Prep here meant weeks of planning. Spare tanks, special glasses, and drills for every emergency. Without that, diving the Blue Hole is like skydiving without a parachute.
Despite the refusals, lack of special equipment, and just 2 days to prepare, the young diving instructor decided to do the unthinkable. The Blue Hole is a massive natural sinkhole sitting just a few meters from the shore, located a few kilometers from the city. Its underwater structure reaches depths as far as 130 meters, more than 400 feet, with the bottom sloping at an angle, gradually leading to the edge of a cliff, before plunging steeply to the depths of over 1,000 meters or 3,300 feet.
I'm pretty sure that's the crazy part. Normally you have to head miles out into the ocean just to hit 100 meters. But at the Blue Hole, you take a few strokes off the beach and you're already staring into a 400-foot drop. That's insane.
Often referred to as the diver's cemetery, is reputed to have the most diver fatalities in the world, with estimates ranging between 130 and 200 fatalities in the last decade, making it one of the most dangerous diving locations on the planet.
They don't call it cemetery for nothing. Divers go in chasing adventure, but too many never make it back up. Past a certain depth, divers feel euphoric from nitrogen narcosis. That false confidence turns lethal because they think they're safer than they are. One mistake and there's no way back.
To what extent Yuri was aware of this is uncertain, but what he surely didn't know is that his stubborn dive would soon become a nightmare. With his diving gear equipped, Yuri entered the water at around 5 p.m. To document his journey, he wore a video camera strapped around his head to show the dive from his own perspective.
This man's went down like it was light work. Head cam on like he's shooting content. That gear don't make you invincible though. Ocean don't care what you rocking. 3 minutes in the deep and you already playing with forces way bigger than you.
Several other divers were present, as seen in the footage. What the camera doesn't show is that, according to witnesses, Yuri was not wearing an extra diving cylinder. This was a critical mistake. Without it, he risked suffering nitrogen narcosis.
Diving that deep with no backup tank is like gambling with your lungs. One failure and you're done. That second cylinder isn't just extra. It's the difference between fighting your way back or never coming up. Without it, you're asking the ocean to decide your fate. Nitrogen narcosis clouds your mind like alcohol. The deeper you go, the foggier you think, and the deadlier choices you make.
As Yuri descended, he slowly started moving away from the group, and the number of people around him decreased. Soon, it was just Yuri and his rolling camera. At first, everything seemed fine. The sunlight grew dimmer as Yuri slowly sank deeper into the ocean. Whether he was aware of it or not, every few meters, his consciousness was slowly beginning to change. At 10 meters, or 33 feet below, his lungs were now only taking in half the amount of air they had been at the surface.
I bet you it felt chill at first, then his own gear flipped on him. go a bit deeper, and everything shrinks. The suit hugs tight, the air vest goes flat, and you start sinking faster without noticing. And once the light fades, you by yourself.
However, he was steadily breathing denser and denser air, and his bloodstream was absorbing more and more nitrogen. Recreational diving guidelines forbid traveling lower than 130 feet. Yuri was descending well beyond 40 meters. But worse still, he wasn't actively monitoring his depth.
It's not just going deep, it's how fast your air disappears. Around 40 meters, you're breathing 5 times faster than at the surface. So a full tank shrinks quick, especially if you're filming instead of watching your gauges. Go up too fast and dissolve nitrogen flashes into bubbles in your blood and tissues, and that's what kills. Experts stop at set depths and switch gas mixes so the nitrogen can safely leave the body.
Within seconds, Yuri started sinking uncontrollably. He desperately tried to slow his descent, but to no avail. Inflating his buoyancy control device had no use. He was too heavy. The water pressure increased rapidly, which in turn increased the pressure inside Yuri's lungs. He began to panic.
Can you picture sinking deeper and deeper, knowing nothing that you press or pull can stop it? That's straight up terror swallowing you whole.
The surface of the water continued to disappear above him, and nitrogen narcosis impaired his mobility and distorted his mind the further he plummeted. In what seemed like mere seconds, he was past 80 meters, more than twice the limit for recreational diving.
Dog, all this chatter about some so-called recreational limit? I didn't even know diving had a rule book like that. That 40-meter limit isn't random. Diving agencies set it because the brain starts misfiring once you push deeper. Cross that line and the danger spikes fast.
In a desperate attempt to rise to the surface, he tried to inflate his buoyancy control device even more, but it was already full, and suddenly it burst open. Air rushed out of his chest, sealing his fate. Finally, at just over 91 meters, Yuri landed face down at the bottom of the sea.
Man, it hurts, because he probably thought he still had time. Nobody dives expecting it to be their last breath. It's not stupidity, it's being human, thinking you can push a little further. But sometimes that little further is the line you can't ever come back from.
At 5:11 p.m. on April 28, 2000, the camera stopped recording. Yet remarkably, this isn't the last thing the camera would ever capture. Roughly a week later, on May 5th, the camera would again be turned on, this time in the hands of a local Egyptian technical diver named Tarek Omar. What he discovered that day would send shivers down your spine. In the span of just over 7 minutes, Yuri had gone from standing on a sunny beach to lying dead on the bottom of the blue hole.
I can't even picture what kind of camera makes it that deep. Most would have cracked way before 90 feet. Even the strongest gear isn't built for that depth. Seals crack, circuits fry, and the ocean eats the tech alive. Yet somehow this lens stayed open long enough to capture his final descent, like the sea itself wanted a witness.
And he had captured the whole thing on video. Now he was a grisly discovery waiting to be found. As the local diving expert with vast rescue experience, Tarek Omar had the unenviable task of being the guy to call when accidents happen at the world's deadliest diving site. Omar treats every emergency like a rescue mission, but sadly, all too often they end up being about simply recovering the body. The case of Yuri Lipsky was no different.
Leaving him down there ain't an option. His fam need that closure. But pulling the body up from that deep, that's fighting straight pressure, heavy gear, and your own breath the whole way up. One wrong move, and you joining him at the bottom.
First, Omar had to enter the blue hole and examine the situation. The site is so big that this took an entire day. Omar says he eventually found Yuri lying face down on the ocean floor, motionless. There was nothing Omar could do. Yuri had clearly been dead since well before anyone knew he was missing.
Picture searching a place so wide, it eats a whole day just to find one diver. Down there, every shadow plays tricks, like the ocean's hiding secrets. Believe it or not, some divers who went down there were never brought back. The blue hole is so deep and disorienting, it hides bodies for years. Families are still left waiting, never knowing if their loved one will surface.
Mistakenly, Omar thought this part in the ordeal was now over. It was only after contacting local authorities and sorting through the wreckage that Tarek Omar made a heart-stopping discovery. The camera had survived. Not only that, but the video it had captured during the dive was still intact.
Watching that tape feels like you're right there. His breath running out and the panic settling in and the ocean closing over him. By the end, it doesn't feel like you're just watching him die. It feels like the sea is dragging you down too.
Omar likely became the first person to view what is now one of the most viewed diving videos ever recorded. As devastating as it was to watch, Omar says the video seemed to confirm many of his suspicions. He now believes Yuri died due to 3 main causes. 1. His gear made him too heavy. 2. His vest failed. And 3. Most importantly, he clearly suffered from acute nitrogen narcosis.
It wasn't just bad gear, bad luck. The ocean stacked every flaw against him. Down there, even tiny cracks become fatal. Once the problems stack, it's like drowning in slow motion. You try to fight one, but another one already knocks you back down. Out there, there's no reset button. Once the ocean got momentum, you're done.
But even watching the video and having his worst fears confirmed wasn't the most difficult part for Omar. Yuri's mother was in Dahab. In fact, it was she who had originally contacted Omar, saying she hadn't heard from her son and was worried for his safety.
Picture being that mother waiting on a call that never comes, only to learn your son's body is lying at the bottom of the sea. It's grief so sharp it doesn't let you breathe, because the ocean didn't just take him, it left her with nothing to hold on to. That kind of pain cuts deeper than any depth.
Omar later said that if he had known about the footage on the video camera, he would have, in his words, flooded it. No mother should have to see her own son drowning on camera, but instead, Yuri's belongings were returned to his mother, including the camera with the harrowing footage on it. Yuri became, in a very dark sense, the most famous diver in the world, at least for that time.
Every choice we make ripples past us. The risk you take alone could end up breaking the people who you love the most. A moment of recklessness can echo for a lifetime in someone else's grief. Out here, you don't get extra lives. One bad move, and this game over, man. That's the way nobody thinks about till it's too late.
Today, the cliffside by the entrance to the Blue Hole is littered with tombstones and small memorials.